Well, after a spring and summer full of training sessions, practices, and exhibition matches, the beautiful game makes its official return today as the South Dakota State University Jackrabbits play host to the Cyclones of Iowa State. Alongside John Hyatt, I'm Alex Heinert. Welcome and thanks for joining us on Midco Sports Network's coverage of Division I women's soccer. And this, John, a great day one these two teams have been looking forward to for a long time, and they're going to match up to start the season with two pretty familiar opponents.
Yes, this is a great one to start the season with. Iowa State and South Dakota State have played each other for the 9th straight year. Iowa State with 4 wins, South Dakota State with 3, and 1 tie. The Jackrabbits are looking to even up the series tonight.
A good matchup between two teams that play attacking style of football, but they go about it in really different ways.
Yeah, these teams are the same, but they're different. Both teams like to get forward. Iowa State's going to pass the ball around, play possession-based soccer, and try to unlock that defense of South Dakota State. South Dakota State's going to play more direct. They're going to get it to the feet of their forwards, and they're going to try to make runs off of that. Two different styles, but the same result of attacking football.
Yeah, a lot of goals can be expected here in today's contest, and it's mainly because a lot of experience coming back in the attacking fronts for both of these teams. Let's start with the visitors for Iowa State. They're led by a goal scorer supreme in Corey Willard.
She is a star. 10 goals, 3rd best in the Big 12 last season. But stats aside, watch her on the pitch. Ball at her feet, watch the runs off the ball. She is a star in those areas on the field.
Yeah, equally as prolific on the other side, South Dakota State's Diana Potterville, the reigning Summit League Offensive Player of the Year. She can score goals, but she does a great job in setting up her teammates as well.
Yeah, when your starting center forward leads the team in assists with 12, and your team, and that record, that 12 is the record for Summit League play, your team's going to play pretty well. They're looking to have a good season with her at the top.
Yeah, the offense really revolving around her for a 4th consecutive season. A couple of good coaches, by the way, in this matchup as well for Iowa State. Tony Minata entering his 2nd full year at the helm, looking for a little bounce back here after some tough luck with injuries last season.
Yeah, we talked to Tony Minata prior to the game, and he just said we had 5 girls hurt last season when they played South Dakota State. They didn't get quite the cohesiveness they were looking for. Started with a great season, and kind of in conference play fizzled out.
On the opposite bench, Lang Wiedemeyer, a guy who literally built this program, 16 years now at South Dakota State. No one with more experience in the conference.
Yeah, Lang Wiedemeyer has built this program from the ground up. He's got all 11 starters back, along with some dynamic freshmen. He's looking to lead his team again to the conference title and well as the tournament title.
Great matchup today to start off the season. South Dakota State, Iowa State coming up next. Kickoffs and starting 11 when we come back here on Midco Sports Network. Welcome back to Fishback Soccer Park in Brookings, South Dakota, getting set for the season opener. Iowa State's making the trip up to Brookings. As we talked about in the open, not the most obvious matchup you would think a team from the Big 12 making this trip, but again, they've done it on numerous occasions, and this is a game between them and South Dakota State that has been so back and forth. Cyclones with 3 straight wins in the series prior to SDSU going to Ames and getting a win last year. John, what do you expect from our matchup today?
Well, I expect another close one. I mean, all 9, you've had 8 matches so far. You've had 1 tie, and all the other matches have been a goal apiece. So, I mean, I see another 1-goal match, and I see maybe a team off of a set piece getting the game winner.
Quick look at the starting lineups here first for the visitors, Iowa State, and you notice again, one of the things that the South Dakota State coaching staff has mentioned, the physicality and the athleticism of this ISU team really jumps out at you. A lot of height in different areas that can pose some problems for the back line.
Well, if you take the forwards for Iowa State and some of their attacking mids, their shortest person is as tall as the tallest person for of the South Dakota State defenders. So that height and physicality advantage is really big for Iowa State.
On the opposite side, South Dakota State, they're starting 11. Nicole Linsky back in goal for another season, a strong pillar at the back, with really the senior group at the back. 3 seniors on their back line, led by a girl you really like in Danny Patterson.
Yeah, we watched some of the matches from last year, and she just is positioned really well. She's got a really nice leg, being able to get it up the field for playing it. Actually, she plays a lot of direct balls right from that center back position up to the forward. So look for her to really be that stalwart and that help in the back line.
Getting set for kickoff here. South Dakota State in the classic all-white strip. Iowa State in the road crimson, white, and gold. Moments away here from the start of the season. High expectations for both of these teams. South Dakota State doing the double last season in the Summit League. Iowa State, a really strong start to the year, 6-3 over their first 9 games, tailed off towards the end. And we're underway here from the 2015 soccer season from Fishback Soccer Park. one of the big talking points leading up into this game, John, we weren't sure if this game was actually going to be played here in Brookings. A lot of rain over the weekend, nearly 5 inches of precipitation. They made the decision this morning at 9 a.m. to keep things here after the field appeared to be fit enough for the playing shape. We walked down on the field. What did you see out there?
Well, it's a little soft, and the grass is a little bit long. So, Iowa State likes to play that possession-based soccer, and so the passing with that, it may not be as sharp, and so they probably don't want the grass to be as long as it is. But everybody's playing on the same field. So, but there are some soft spots. In the box, there's a couple of soft spots. We'll see if that plays into the second half.
At the end, the south end of the field here is the team's going right to left, north to south. The south end that South Dakota State is attacking, maybe a little bit softer than that north end that ISU is going towards here in this first half. That's the true freshman, Brittany Jensen, the long ball up in the middle to Nicole Hatcher on the right side. Good push-up from Ashley Adams. Loose ball here picked up in the middle by Corey Willer, number 2. Nice spin. Good play by the left back, Delaney Ratcliffe, to bring her off the ball and dispossess. Long ball played in, eludes the first man. Here's Jensen. And quickly back to defend Courtney Cammy, the junior from Denver, cleaning up.
That was an opportunity, a little bit heavy by Jensen on that one. Otherwise, she might have been in.
Ratcliffe pressing up right back into Jensen's feet, a true freshman from Oregon, cracking what was an all-returning starting 11 for this team for the game opener. Head coach Lang Wiedemeyer mentioned before the match today, she just does so many things well. She attacks. She's great at one-on-one. Just tough to leave her on the bench when you know what you've got in this young
Well, you've already
freshman.
seen her really in 2 great spots on the field be able to have that space. She's just, the touches let her down both of those times. But, that'll come. She obviously got to be a little bit nervy in her first match as a freshman, first regular season match.
Wiedemeyer mentioned technically it's going to take a little while for her to get up to speed, but athletically and her skills are just off the charts. Loose ball in the middle picked up there by Madison Ewell, the holding midfielder on this SDSU team. Both of these teams, it's kind of a 4-3-3 base, but a very loose definition of that, as we'll see. Some rotation and same formation and number only, we'll say. Let's say that, John. Take down there in the middle of the field.
Well done by Potterveld, just holding her ground, using her body. That's the experience.
It's something you'll see both of these forwards do well. Potterveld and Corey Willer, excellent with their back to goal. Jensen looking for Ewell in the middle, can't find her. Willer dropping back inside her own ends. Back to Haley Albert, their big 6'1" attacking mid. Ashley Adams now on the ball. Adams, a brilliant assist in their game against Iowa State last year. Playing to the feet of Potterveld for the opening goal back in 2014. Sasha Stinson here on the ball now, the right back for ISU, able to play that one out. Stinson just one of a number of Iowa State players out with injury last season. We talked about in the opening, and 5 starters for this team lost at some point during the season. Stinson just a sophomore from Cedar Park, Texas. The freshman Jensen, a ball into the box again. Dealt with a bit clumsily there by Ott in the inside. Good challenge by Potterveld. It's going to fall to Cammy, who will clear. Good pressure here so far by SDSU, keeping the ball in the attacking third.
And when we watched their match from last year, SDSU played a lot of narrow balls up the middle of the field, and already they've tried to hit Jensen down the left side with some nice ones, and she's been in a good spot, and we'll see if they keep going that direction.
Yeah, a little more width here shown by Lang Wiedemeyer's side early on. Iowa State trying to grow into this game early. Good strong possession there. Nice ball by Willer. And a foot race here. Kaylee Nieders is going to get there first on the left side of the box. Nieders.
Good closeout
corralled,
by McNary.
Yep, both central defenders. And a good clear there by Patterson. Yeah, you mentioned it. Patterson and McNary getting back and stopping what was a good rush there by ISU. A little bit of a breeze, by the way, blowing from the south to the north, going toward the SDSU side as Inskeep comes out to make that grab. The junior keeper from Ankeny, Iowa. Nicole Inskeep earned the starting nod as a freshman 2 seasons ago. Split time in goal last year, but the incumbent this season to get the gloves to start the 2015 campaign. One of the big areas that South Dakota State has talked about that they want to improve on is winning the ball in the midfield, and we're seeing that right now as Ratcliffe on the left back spot finding Jensen. And that ball's just going to skim out. for an Iowa State throw.
That one let her down there, but Ratcliffe is very good with that left foot, hitting it forward to the attacking flank.
Ratcliffe, a senior from Winnipeg, in her 4th season on that back line for South Dakota State, a part of what the coaching staff calls a hallmark recruiting class that year from 4 years ago. Here's Hatcher now on the attack. Nice ball looking for Potterville over her head to Stinson, who does not clear. Still loose on the inside, and now finally dealt with by the right back for Iowa State.
Well, Potterville just hit the deck 3 times already. They're going after her. They're going to make sure that she's not going to have any open space in the box.
Diana Potterville, who's around 5'8", 5'9", a senior from Fort Collins, Colorado, one of a number of Colorado kids for both of these teams on the field today. First couple of minutes in, John, no real clear-cut chances.
Yeah, just a couple dangerous balls that got thrown over or got hit in over the top, but well closed out by the defenders.
Potterville trying to play a ball to Jensen that was a bit on the different page that time as it's knocked out for another South Dakota State throw.
Ratcliffe takes a lot of these throws, has a good ability, like from right here, this could be, looks like she's setting up trying to make it more of a corner kick. And of course then she plays it back.
She'll go short here to Danny Patterson up from center back, who will whip one in. Trying to find Alyssa Brazel down there, but it's picked up and quickly cleared. Albert now in the midfield, trying to start the attack. Taylor Wagner, a true freshman that's really impressed in a couple exhibition matches so far this season for Iowa State, but Ratcliffe back to defend. SDSU back in possession. Hatcher now finding McNary coming up from that center back spot, looking long for Potterveld.
Good work by Potterville to win that one.
Courtney Cammy able to knock that away.
Let's go!
Iowa State trying to release some pressure here. They've been pegged back a little bit early in this contest. Not a lot of breathing room.
South Dakota State's done a good job controlling the ball in the midfield. We expected Iowa State to have more of the possession. We'll see if that continues here as we continue on the first half.
Long ball here by Ratcliffe. Hopeful, but nobody making a run. Dealt with by Cammy. Stinson now to Lindsey Frank. Ratcliffe now back in possession for SDSU. To the feet of Brazel. Back to Ewell. Maddie Ewell, the holding midfielder on this SDSU team, pressing pretty far up here. Ashley Adams now the right back on the right side.
Making a nice run.
To Hatcher. Nicole Hatcher, a great player in her high school days, the South Dakota Gatorade Player of the Year back in 2013, a Sioux Falls Roosevelt product. Hatcher, the scorer of a famous goal last season in the Summer League Championship game in the dying seconds at Denver to send that game into overtime. State eventually winning on penalty kicks to advance to the NCAA tournament for the second time in their Division I era. Good pressing here by South Dakota State. ISU able to deal with it, though. This is Wagner. Go ahead, John.
The counter opportunities right now for Iowa State, when there's a lot of states keeping the pressure on them, but the counter is open for Iowa State. If they're able to release that, they could be susceptible at the back for the Jackrabbits.
Jack's playing it out wide once again. Nicole Hatcher here on this right wing. Now to Adams, the right back, pushing forward. 3 Cyclones surrounding her. Adams, though, gets away. Ashley Adams, the cross off the head of Tori Poole. Still in the danger area, but it's right to Stinson. She'll clear, though, only as far as Ratcliffe pushing up. Right back to Stinson. Now Poole in the area. Tori Poole unable to corral that. State, though, piling on the pressure here as SDSU winning the ball again. Jensen on this left wing. Back to Ewell. And that ball out wide is just going to get to Adams. Nice job by Taylor Wagner running it down. Nobody to release pressure, though, too, as that ball is going to elude Willer. McNary will play back to Inskeep.
We talked about before the match, Adams having a really good ability on the outside to get forward and to beat people with the ball. And she showed it there a couple minutes ago, getting forward and sending a nice cross. I mean, didn't really end up with a great result, but it was a nice cross into the box.
Yeah, certainly a ball in a dangerous area, something they're going to hope for as this game progresses. 10 minutes in here at the 35-minute mark at Fishback Soccer Complex. A couple things of note, unlike in major international soccer, clock counts down here at the Division I level instead of going up. No stoppage time. There'll be 2 45-minute halves. If tied, we'll move into a couple of overtime periods where it is golden goal. We'll see subs as well. Again, unlike where you get 3 substitutions, you basically have unlimited substitutions with some restrictions at the college level. Once you're off in the first half, you can't come back on. In the second half, you can go off and come on once. Once you're substituted a second time, then you're out for the rest of the contest.
And I would look for the both coaches to get some people into the game because this is the first regular season game. People aren't ready for that full 90. I would look for lots of substitutions, lots of people getting opportunities to play.
Both of these teams looking for their first win on the season, including exhibition matches. Iowa State losing a 4-0 contest against the number 9 team in the country, Notre Dame, and then dropping another one last Friday against Northern Illinois. South Dakota State, just the one match back on August the 13th, a 2-0 defeat at Nebraska. So both of these teams playing a pretty tough exhibition schedule to get ready for the season. Now a turnover here in the attacking zone.
That's a tough giveaway.
Willer now on the ball. Back to Albert. The senior, a ball hopeful that time, trying to find Kaylee Nieders, but a little bit too long as Inskeep is there to scoop up. Not a lot of service here for the attacking two with Willer and Nieders feeding off scraps early on here in this contest, John.
Yeah, South Dakota State is really, I think this is a surprising start to the game, just to see them have as much possession as they do. I know that Iowa State, that's the whole goal is to keep that pass it around. It looks like the teams have switched roles here.
A little bit, yeah. A little more long ball for ISU. A little more possession-based wide play from South Dakota State. Another win here in the midfield as Alyssa Brazel, another Sioux Falls kid from Sioux Falls O'Gorman, another senior on this team, creating the turnover. Ratcliffe now on this left wing. Jensen. A hopeful ball in is going to be won in the midfield. That's Taylor Wagner dropping back now more centrally here. She started out on the right. That through ball is only going to find the feet of Danny Patterson back to Inskeep. In the 13th minute, still scoreless here from Brookings. Season opener for Iowa State and South Dakota State alongside John Hyatt. I'm Alex Heinert. You said it, John, so far a little bit of a role reversal early.
Yeah, and I think what you're seeing is that the match that we watched South Dakota State play, there was a lot of balls played in the middle of the field. You're seeing a lot of attacking. You're seeing Adams and you're seeing Ratcliffe and Jensen go down the flanks, and that's been effective. I mean, they've been putting a lot of pressure on Iowa State. Now, it hasn't led to too many great chances, but it's been effective, and now Raper coming in the match.
Yeah, a couple of subs here, and you can expect that as the match goes along. Shelby Raper making her first appearance, a 5'1" junior from Franktown, Colorado. Kid who started a lot last year in that front three for Lang Wiedemeyer, taking the place of Brittany Jensen, the true freshman. For Iowa State coming on, Clacy Medelberg, 5'7" freshman from St. Louis. Willer coming back to win that ball. Trying to set up an attack here. Good defense by Adams coming in, and now a slide tackle by Wagner to win the ball back for the Cyclones. It's going to be an ISU throw.
Well, it'll be interesting watching Raper in some matches from last year. She's very good 1v1 taking on defenders, and so getting her on the flank, if they've been trying to attack that direction, we'll see if she can open up some of those 1v1 situations and create some space.
Wagner here trying to find a little bit of room. Medelberg one back to Hatcher and Potterveld, and they'll release some pressure here, trying to find a little bit of space on the counterattack. Nice slide tackle there by Courtney Camey to stop the impending threat. Not a lot of numbers back. Everybody back defending for South Dakota State that time. Nice job by ISU slowing down the counter. Preseason polls coming out about a week ago for both of these teams. South Dakota State a little bit surprisingly picked to finish second in the conference despite returning 11 starters and winning the regular season and the conference tournament championship a year ago. Denver getting the nod.
Well, as a coach, you don't really mind that. I mean, you sort of have this expectation, hey, we won the conference, we won the tournament. You know, you could naturally, athletes, they start to believe that, hey, this is just going to be given to us. And that kind of can work to their advantage of saying, hey, there still isn't that full respect for us, and they can use that.
It's a Pioneer team that returned 7 starters. They've been picked, by the way, the preseason favorite in the Summit in each of the last 3 seasons. Every season they've been in the league since joining in 2013. Nice move there by Taylor Wagner. The freshman getting a little deeper into this South Dakota State attacking zone. Brianna Johnson now stepping up, firing a shot. Just a bit. Lost a bit of steam there as it careened through. Again, the grass a little bit taller, the surface a little bit slicker. No problems there for Inskeep. And you'll see that a couple times. As we've seen some of these longer passes played on the ground, John, you can see the height of that grass slowing the ball down, creating maybe a little bit of problems here.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but in order to play the game here, you just have to.
You had to let it grow.
Yeah, you had to let it grow and let it stay long.
Hatcher, nice long ball. Looking up top for Raper. One-on-one on Stinson on the left side. Shelby Raper, the cross, trying to find the feet of Brazel, and it's dealt with at the back as Cammie clears. Nice ball, though, by Hatcher, again, allowing Raper to run off. You're seeing, by the way, now Potterville shifting out to the right. Hatcher's kind of moved more centrally for South Dakota State, with Raper up here on the left at the front of this 4-3-3. Ratcliffe with some time. An errant pass, though, scooped up by Wagner. Taylor Wagner up to the feet of Corey Willer, who plays it back now to the true freshman in midfield. Nice stop there by Brazel. Hatcher.
Whenever Iowa State wins that ball back, you hear Manata just saying, "Go, go, go!" He really wants them to pick up the tempo in the match, try to gain back control.
Haley Albert. A long ball for Metalberg down that right flank. It's going to be too long for her. And just for a moment, it did look like it was going to hold up there on the grass.
Yeah, Patterson's going to let that one go out, and then all of a sudden she second-guesses herself and maybe it's not going to get past it.
Talked about preseason expectations for State for South Dakota State for Iowa State. Picked to finish 9th in the conference in the 9-team Big 12. Again, this is a team that started 6-3 last year, 1-7 though in conference. A lot of injuries happening around the midway point of the season. Ironically, just after that South Dakota State match, which was really a turning point for their season, a 2-1 loss in Ames for the Cyclones. That was the first of an 8-game losing streak. They did finish on a bit of a high note, beating TCU in the season's final game. It's a Big 12 conference, John. Again, number 2 in the nation in RPI last season. 3 teams nationally ranked preseason this year. They had 6 teams make the NCAA tournament a year ago. So it's not like, you're picked last in your conference, and that's maybe a little disappointing, but maybe a little understandable when you see every team in that conference had a 500 record or better last year, with the exception of the Cyclones.
Yeah, it's a very tough conference, and I think the thing to remember, too, is prior to last season, the season before that, they had 10 seniors that graduated. So they had a really good core, and they had, last year, Tony Manata said they had to basically start over. So they were trying to find cohesiveness, and then they had all the injuries on top of that. So that's tough to overcome.
He's bringing in a lot of talented kids. Again, Manata in his second full season as the head coach, took over at the tail end of that season 2 years ago, and when he helped lead this team to a conference tournament berth in the Big 12, the number 4 seed in that tournament that year. Bringing in a lot of kids from Colorado, 7 kids that he coached. Again, was a coach in Fort Collins. Coached players like Corey Willer, Matty Ott, a couple others that he had in his program, bringing them to Iowa State.
Wonder if he had his eye on Diana Potterveld from Fort Collins, Colorado.
There's a lot of comparisons. A lot of kids from that Colorado area. Yeah, Potterveld and Willer, both from the Fort Collins area. Played on different high schools, different club teams. Long shot here by Poole. She can make him from there. You saw her in this matchup last season, a goal from around that area, about 20, 22 yards out.
And with the left foot, too.
That's right.
She took it with the left foot, same one she scored on last year.
Poole, a kid from South St. Paul. First team All-Summit last season. Also made the All-Freshman team. Was also member of the All-Region team, the only player from the Summit to make the Great Lakes All-Region team a year ago. Poole was also a lot of accolades for a lot of these kids. Poole, though, in the Summit League tournament, the tournament MVP, had 2 goals in their opening round game against North Dakota State, had the game-winning PK in the championship game. Again, all as a freshman.
That's a good run.
That's not too bad.
That's a good tournament run.
Nice cross in. Dangerous. Poole there. Gets a head on it, but stopped by Hendon just in front of the goal line. We've not said Lindsay Hendon's name much so far in this match. Again, the sophomore from Lakewood, Colorado. taking their first start.
That was a brilliant ball by Ashley Adams into the box, into the wind, and a dangerous opportunity there.
Yeah, Poole not able to get quite enough on the header to really threaten Hendon's goal.
But the thing is, they're giving those outside backs tons of space and time to do that. She could just step right into it. She could just get it right the way she wanted to hit it, and that's why you see the quality of it coming into the box.
We're in the 21st minute here from Brookings. Still scoreless, South Dakota State and Iowa State.
Well done by Patterson there.
Stinson retaining possession back into Johnson. Poole dispossessing her and finding Hatcher at the outlet. Raper trying to run. Hatcher looking to find her with the left but can't do so. Out to touch for ISU. Two shots for the home side so far, just one for the visitors. The run of play still very much in SDSU's favor. A little surprisingly again because they're going into the wind here in this first half. Not many good looks on goal yet for the Cyclones, but again, a team that's trying to build their way into this game. Tough to come on the road after a long trip up from Ames.
Jackrabbits doing a good job shutting down Willer as soon as she gets the ball to her feet. They collapse, they're converging. They're not letting her get those touches to put her into the spot she wants to be in.
Yeah, not a lot of space here for the forward two from Iowa State. Nice switch of play here as Ashley Adams starts down that right side. Wagner closing her down. Now a turnover out there as Emily Stile, who we've not mentioned much, the starting left back, a true freshman here for ISU. Cross into the box. It's going to drift away from goal and be fielded by Poole on the outside. Ratcliffe now. Taken away quickly here by Lindsey Frank. The senior from Texas up to Willer. Right back to Frank, one of the captains on this team, up to Metalberg. Dispossessed there by Patterson. Good hustle by Willer though. Metalberg now. Couple players in the box. Finding Frank there, she flings a leg at that and not able to get much on it. Nice diving stop to prevent what might have been a corner potentially there as Inskeep comes out and makes the stop.
Well, really the best forward opportunity for the Cyclones of the game today.
You can see again that being created. Willer coming back, winning the ball, finding Metalberg, making a run down the side, having space for a cross with players in the box. Yeah, we've not seen much of that here in this contest so far from the team in red and gold. Metalberg looking for somebody out there, and that ball's going to go out. CSU throw. .23rd minute here, about halfway through this first half of play at Fishback Soccer Park. Still scoreless here. Thanks for watching Midco Sports Network's coverage of Division I soccer. Again, the season opener for both of these clubs. Trying to start the season on a strong note. Nice passing on the turf there by State, trying to switch the play. That ball, though, again, not quite making it from Ewell to Adams, but Ashley Adams winning it back from Taylor Wagner. And now Haley Albert in possession. Trying to find Willer. And the junior forward's going to get there first just in front of Patterson. Danny Patterson, though, standing her grounds. Potterveld coming all the way back for this to Adams now. Dangerous ball there to Ewell. Metalberg right in the area. Ewell, though, back to Patterson. The senior center back able to release some pressure to Potterveld.
Coach Wiedemeyer was concerned about that long grass. He said, if we don't quite get our passes, enough steam on the passes, he said the athletic Cyclones could jump on those and be able to take them the other direction for counters. Seen a little bit.
A couple occasions here as Nicole Hatcher is fouled on the turn. Free kick coming up here for SDSU.
The thing that I have liked about the Jackrabbits is when they lose the ball, they work very hard to win it back. And you, as a coach, you can't ask for anything more for them to just really get after it, have lots of energy.
25th minute. Patterson up for this free kick. Everybody in the box here for SDSU, and now a foul off the ball. Not uncommon to see that on a long free kick like that with the ball coming into the box.
Well, I think he called that on Potterveld, and, you know, we had talked about how she had hit the deck a few times. I think she was maybe getting a few licks in her on her own that time.
A nice night for soccer here in Brookings. Getting a little bit of a breeze blowing in from the south, from left to right on your screen. Good crowd here at Fishback Soccer Park. Move-in day here at South Dakota State University. Kids coming on campus and making their way to support their Jackrabbits here in the season opener. Iowa State, the first of 2 games in South Dakota for the Cyclones. They'll take on the University of South Dakota on Sunday. A little tentatively played back that time, but Inskeep deals with it okay. Only as far as Bree Johnson, though. The holding mid here for ISU now in possession. Johnson to Willer. Corey Willer with the shot. Didn't quite connect. Goal kick here for SDSU as subs get prepared to come in, and a couple now on for the Jackrabbits. Number 2, Kylie Nelson. Number 5, Lauren Kresick. Number 28, Jenny Sislow all on now, replacing Ratcliffe, Potterveld, and Poole. Coming on here for ISU, Casey Apfer. Or we have a quick number change here. That's Lauren Rowling actually coming on. I was going to say Casey Apfer, we learned before the game, had torn her ACL in an exhibition match a couple days ago. That would have been a miraculous recovery to be featuring in this match. But number 12, Lauren Rowling.
Normally number 11.
Normally number 11, the junior midfielder, a 2-year starter for this ISU team from Fort Collins, another one of Coach Minata's kids. Long ball in, a little bit over the head of everybody. And that's going to roll out. We're going to have our first corner of the contest. ISU, a lot of height, and this is something that South Dakota State had mentioned they were concerned about. Set pieces and dealing with, again, the height of the Cyclones coming down this end.
They are a very tall team compared to the Jackrabbits. You know, both coaches said, hey, we're concerned about how we defend set pieces. I don't know a coach on the planet that doesn't say that. So it's a very common thing to have happen. But I think from South Dakota State's perspective, they're just worried about that height.
Corner coming in, it goes short. Dealt with there by Katie McNary. It's going to go for another ISU corner. That's Taylor Wagner, by the way, the true freshman, taking this.
Hard to use that height advantage when you play that corner in on the ground.
Attempt number 2 here. This one up in the air, right to the middle of the box. Loose in there. Albert, the shot, and it's in for the goal. Haley Alberts, the strike off the corner in the 28th minute, and the Cyclones on the board first.
Oftentimes, the second corner is the dangerous one. You've defended the first one, and you let your guard down a little bit. That one, fortunate, falls at the feet, and she knocks it home. Finishes in the final third, something that Coach Minata had been concerned about. Maybe that'll get them off of that streak of not scoring in front of net.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that Tony Minata had mentioned, both in our conversation days before the game and right before the match. He said this team is just not clinical in front of goal. They've missed some chances when they should have scored, not only in exhibition matches this season where, again, they had not scored a goal in their previous 2 exhibition games, but going back to last season, a lot of times, again, just 4 goals over that final 8-game stretch. They really struggled to find the net. That goal by Albert emphatically taken over the head of Inskeep. And if you're an ISU fan, you got to hope that gets that offense going. And this is really against the run of play, John, a first half that had been all at the South Dakota State attacking end. But you get a chance at a corner and you take advantage.
Yep, set pieces are always dangerous. I mean, every coach is worried about them, especially the second one. And, you know, they fended off that first one. It was a fortunate bounce. I mean, he kind of knocked it down. It fell right at her feet. So, but, man, if you're a Cyclones fan, you got to be loving that with the fact that now here's a good run.
ISU with Willer. Looks like the flag is up here on the near side for offsides. You know, in last year's matchup with ISU SDSU, you would see a lot of times the Iowa State forwards trying to play themselves in, run along that back line from State, and then make a diving run and be played into goal on a through ball. And that time just similar, just a little bit too soon, making the run there by Willer.
It'll be interesting to see how both teams respond to this. You know, will you see more energy come out of the Cyclones now that they got that goal under their belt? And how will the Jackrabbits, after controlling possession, sometimes that can be a demoralizing thing. You control possession, you think you're in control of the match, and then all of a sudden the other team gets one on you, and it can be deflating.
Long ball in. Nicole Hatcher trying to latch onto this. Hatcher in on goal, and it's going to go right to the keeper, Lindsey Hendon. Good defending, tracking back that time as Iowa State rushing. Hatcher, the one-on-one with goal, best chance South Dakota State's had all game.
Yes. Yeah, she got that, and the first touch was a decent one. It's just able to be closed out by Iowa State defender.
Game opening up a little bit here at the tail end of this first half. Maybe fatigue starting to set in. The Haley Albert goal in the 28th minute, the difference between these two sides. Albert, by the way, just one goal all of last season, opening up her account just a couple of minutes in to the first one here, or the first match of 2015. There's a corner now coming up on the way for South Dakota State.
And there you saw that speed by Raper on the outside. She just beat the defender, able to win a corner.
31st minute. SDSU, their first corner of the match.
And despite a lot of height, Manata has always been concerned about the set pieces.
Good long ball in there by Ewell from the corner. It's going to fall to Hatcher. Eludes the first defender. Second ball in by Hatcher, nearly making its way to Brazel. Now Raper. Shelby Raper on the left side of the box. Defended well that time. Metalberg coming back with the clearance. A couple nervy moments, though, for that ISU backline.
Yep, South Dakota State has responded well, putting more pressure back on.
Kylie Nelson here on the throw, the new left back. Off of Raper's foot for an ISU throw. Another sub here coming up for Tony Manata and the Cyclones is Maribel Morales set to come in. 5'6" sophomore from La Habra, California. And this was an attacking player that South Dakota State even mentioned when we talked to the coaching staff last week, how dangerous she was in the game they played against ISU last year.
Yeah, they really believe in her technical ability. And so it'll be interesting to see how she does coming in as a sub.
Hatcher now trying to find Raper. A race for the ball. Nice job by Hendon coming out to make the save. Lindsey Hendon, again, only played 26 minutes last year. Featured in one game against Texas Tech. Was busy in that contest, made a couple of saves against the Red Raiders. Again, her first start in her collegiate career. Pretty accomplished, though, as a high school athlete from Colorado. The conference MVP, the all-time shutout leader in the state of Colorado in high school ball. 42 career shutouts.
Well, in the first response, she came off her line well.
One mistake there by Patterson, gifting the ball to Willer. Corey Willer on the left takes a deflection. Dangerous ball, though, that time as Patterson. A little mistake. Nice job by her defensive partner, McNary, coming over to make that block. Willer so good with that left foot from distance. Another corner here for the Cyclones. Maribel Morales to take here from the far side. Players in the box for ISU. A good ball floated in and just off the near post.
That was well taken by Morales right on that near post. And that would have just needed a little touching on and it would have been in the back of the net.
Clacy Metalberg was right there near that near post. It's kind of one of those gray areas for the goalkeeper. That ball is being swung in and eats in swinging corner from that side. There's a lot of traffic in front. Inskeep can't really come for it. Luckily, if you're a Jack fan, that ball just a little bit wide of the post. Lauren Kresick in the midfield now winning it back. To Nelson, up to Hatcher. Two Cyclone defenders right there. And a throw here for ISU. Another sub for the Cyclones. Adelie Schmidt coming on. 5'4" junior from St. Louis. Schmidt, who missed the majority of last season, only featured in 10 games, but scored 4 goals over that time. About as prolific as it gets from a forward spot. She took advantage of the opportunities when she was on. Turnover now by ISU here in the attacking zone as Hatcher scoops it up. Trying to go down the middle. A long ball for Raper to chase, and she'll get there. Courtney Cammy, nice defending. You can hear Tony Manata down there saying, hey, let's stay engaged out there. Let's not shut down. It's a 1-0 ball game. ISU with the lead. That goal coming from Haley Albert back in the 28th minute. Got about 11 minutes to play here in the first half. Cyclones doing the majority of the defending here in this contest. They've fought their way back with a couple of good chances of late. Kylie Nelson back to the middle of the park. Maddie Ewell on the right foot, a swinging ball in. Jenny Sislow over there able to track that down and force Emily Stile just to knock it out to touch.
Sislow playing on the outside, played more of a holding mid last year, but made some nice runs forward in the footage that we watched. And assistant coach Brock Thompson said that they might put her out wide, and it looks like they're doing that now.
So we're seeing her playing on that right side of this 4-3-3. Hatcher now with Potterveld out for the remainder of this half. Hatcher taking up the central position. Sislow on the right and Raper on the left. ISU again switching things up a little bit as Willer came off for Adelie Schmidt. Schmidt and Metalberg now up top for the Cyclones.
And as we suspected, the coach is substituting liberally in this first match of the season.
Nice move there by Ashley Adams, creating some space for herself. Patty Ewell now. Final 10 minutes here of this first half. Long ball played by Stinson. Nice job that time by Rolling, just nudging Brazel off the ball, but the pass only goes to Nelson, who can only find Stinson to play back to Hendon.
But the pressure by the Cyclones, once South Dakota State wins the ball with that back line, the pressure is better. And so you're not getting as quality of balls forward as there was early in the match. So more energy by the Cyclones. I think that's what Monada wants.
Yeah, not nearly the amount of time and space we saw over the first 20 minutes. Adelie Schmidt now coming onto the ball. That's going to be just hoofed out for a throw here. Patterson, the safe route. Time starting to wind down here in this first half. Things certainly have evened out since the goal. A little more back and forth after South Dakota State had really maintained control for the first 20 minutes. Here's Metalberg in the corner. Good defending by Raper coming back, and now another corner here for ISU.
Yeah, when you've controlled the match, and then all of a sudden the other team starts getting all these set piece opportunities, as a coach, your nerves are just getting eroded away.
Maribel Morales set to take. And this one again with the wind blowing. That one's going to go out behind the goal for a goal kick. Another sub here coming for the Jackrabbits is Madison Chapman, another freshman from Missouri, getting set to come on.
She replaces Hatcher.
Good first half, I thought, from Nicole Hatcher, active in the attacking third. Probably the best chance of the game for South Dakota State. Hatcher one-on-one against Hendon. Couldn't get much on the shot against the sophomore goalkeeper from the Cyclones. Looks like Raper's going to move into the tip of that trident up top in the 4-3-3 as Chapman's going to move into the left side. Sislow staying on the right. Brazel back to Ewell. Crunching tackle from behind that time by Adelie Schmidt. A little better possession here from South Dakota State. Kresick in the middle to Ewell to Brazel. Lauren Kresick now. Out wide to Chapman. The freshman working on Stinson. That pass does not find the feet of Raper. It's going to go all the way back to Danny Patterson.
A good connections of passes from South Dakota State there.
Yeah, starting to string them together a little bit, and that pass, though, to Adams off her head and out of play. Taylor Wagner, again, the true freshman, played the entirety here of this first half. A good ball that's going to run and be scooped up here by Adelie Schmidt. The ball across, though, not earmarked for anybody in particular. Inskeep's going to boot this long and out of play. A little over 6 minutes left here in the first half. Iowa State still up 1-0 here from Brookings. Long ball in from Stiles, going to go right to Inskeep. Chance for a counterattack if she wants to go long. That ball's only going to go as far as Johnson in the middle. Metalberg trying to find some space. Back to Stinson. Lacey Metalberg, double teamed here on the right side. Nice turn there, Metalberg getting the cross in. ISU putting the pressure on here toward the end of this first half. Stinson trying to switch it across to Wagner, but only gets as far as Adams. Nice step that time by Maddie Ott. Rolling up to Morales. Nice takeaway there. Lauren Kresick winning the ball back for South Dakota State. Madison Chapman. Off to Stinson, but right back to Chapman, who keeps the attack going. Space on the right if she wants to look for it. That pass getting caught up a bit in the wind, looking for Sislo over there, but she comes onto it. If that ball's bending towards goal, Sislo has got a great chance to cross. Here's a ball now by Brazel that's going to go out for a goal kick here.
But well taken. Nice first touch by Brazel that time, and giving herself a chance to take a shot on goal.
5 minutes left here in the first half. John, 1-0. Iowa State up on South Dakota State. We always talk about last five, first five of each half.
Just thinking it.
Talk about the importance here of these final 5 minutes for both of these clubs.
Well, especially in the first match of the season, naturally you just sort of start, you let your guard down. You start thinking, okay, we're almost done with this half. So the team that can take advantage of that, can keep that pressure up, can keep that energy up, could maybe get another goal here before the half ends. Another goal for Iowa State, the first one for South Dakota State.
Lauren Rolling coming on to that ball by Inskeep. Nobody with her, though, and now Madison Ewell a chance to try and get something going for the Jackrabbits. Only as far as the ISU backline. Pretty obvious handball that time by Bree Johnson. It's going to set up a free kick here, which All State wanted to take quickly. And the ball whistled back to the spot of the infraction. It was on that time. You saw Brazel. That's a senior player with a heady move there. Good refereeing, though, to pull that ball back.
I think what you're seeing with the South Dakota State substitutions is just not quite as much quality with the ball and their passes. Just not as, I mean, they had that good string of passes together, but Cyclones putting more pressure on them, and that's causing some of those turnovers in the midfield.
Patterson, a ball into the box. Still loose in there. It'll make its way back to the center back, Patterson, who will spring it out to the left to Nelson. Kylie Nelson with some space. The left back fires a shot. Scooped up by Hendon. Looks like it was going wide anyway. Good attacking pressure, though, that time by Kylie Nelson.
Yeah, nice run.
Yeah, that's a true freshman in her first collegiate action, making an impact here for South Dakota State. Hendon, a nice long boot deep into South Dakota State's third.
See that ball hold up in the wind that time.
We've not talked a lot about this, but both of these teams feature back lines that are very steady. SDSU with 3 seniors in the back, including 2 in the center of defense who are used to playing with each other, as this ball now could create some problems for the Jacks. Adelie Schmidt.
Adams, good recovery by Adams on the outside.
It's going to be a deep throw here for South Dakota State, nearly in the corner. Ashley Adams, a nice job tracking back. The right back has been busy here in this game, moving forward, but a nice job there defending well. Cyclones, though, retain possession, style a ball into the box. Patterson leaving it for Inskeep. Courtney Cammy stepping up. She'll float one back in. For Iowa State, by the way, Cammy and Ott, again, 2 juniors from Colorado. They've played together here at ISU now in that starting back 4 the last couple of seasons. Both juniors this year, a strong presence in the back line to go along with the sophomore Sasha Stinson and the true freshman Emily Stile. Minute 48 here remaining in this first half. Is there another goal left here in the first 45? Ewell playing this ball back in. Nice step that time by ISU, and now a little bit of space here. But nice covering again by McNary. Patterson back there is well able to close off Adelie Schmidt before anything could come to fruition. You see rolling again. We talked about that just a moment ago, John, how tight they are. Anytime anybody from SDSU is getting the ball, there's an ISU player right there on their back.
Marking is much better by the Cyclones, and that's why you're not seeing those long, sustained possessions by South Dakota State that we saw in the first 20 minutes.
And then good pressure again that time as Metalberg comes back, forcing Inskeep to play that ball out. 45th minute now here from Brookings. ISU pushing here to extend their lead. Up 1-0 early. Jenny Sislow on this right side. Looking for Shelby Raper, and that ball's going to be a little bit too long. Good hustle. Raper, a lot of pace at the top of this 4-3-3.
Yeah, I'd look to see more of her in the second half.
It was good defending by Ott that time to play back to Hendon. Emily Stile here, the freshman from San Juan Capistrano, California. Good first touch that time by Adelie Schmidt, but offsides is the call. Final 20 seconds here of the first half. As things wind down, John, entertaining first 45 minutes here for the season. Again, for this being the first competitive match for both of these teams. I know if you're South Dakota State, you're a little disappointed you gave up the goal, but you got to feel good the way you've played. And if you're Iowa State, as the final seconds tick off, you're in the lead right now, and you can't complain too much about that.
Well, especially when you get the lead when the match has been controlled by your opponent, for the beginning, and all of a sudden you get one on the board, and it's like we said, it can be demoralizing. I thought South Dakota State's response was really good. They kept pressure, they kept going forward. The game started to balance out a lot more where it was going back and forth, but they didn't. You didn't see them crumble and fold up when they gave up that goal.
The goal coming there in the 28th minute from the senior Haley Albert off a corner kick. That's the difference so far. We played 45 here from Brookings. 1-0 Iowa State up on South Dakota State. Getting set for the second half here of the season opener between South Dakota State and Iowa State. Thanks again for joining us here on Midco Sports Network alongside John Hyatt. I'm Alex Heinert. Trying a good first 45. We're ready for another just like it here to complete the 90.
Yeah, the game balanced out in that last part of the half, and I think that's what it's going to be the rest of the way. And we'll see if the one goal differential holds that these teams have had in all the matchups they've played.
That's been the case. A lot of 2-1s, a couple of 1-0s over the years when these two teams have got together. They've played every year since 2008. Maribel Morales on the ball did not start the first half, taking the place though of Kaylee Nieders, the only change from the beginning of the game to where we are at now here for either of these sides. Nice job in the midfield there, Alyssa Brazel playing it up. That's the freshman Jensen on the left wing. Looks like formation-wise, both of these teams coming out with the same look, a 4-3-3 for SDSU, more of a 4-4-2 for Iowa State. Brittany Jensen back to Delaney Ratcliffe, a long ball in. Dealt with there by the true freshman Emily Stile. Only as far as Nicole Hatcher, though. The sophomore from Sioux Falls back to Ashley Adams, the right back. A long ball in for Potterveld. Just over her head. Good defending there by Courtney Cammey. The 5'10 junior center back making a nuisance of herself in there as Hendon able to scoop it up.
Well, the Cyclones definitely starting the half better than they started the first half. Much more pressure on South Dakota State, so that cross just from Adams that had lots of space in the first half, not able to get exactly what she wanted on it.
McNary, a quick ball up, dealt with though by Ott. Right back to the midfield to the true freshman Taylor Wagner. Yeah, loose ball out there to Stinson. She gets there first though, the right back Sasha Stinson. Up to Maribel Morales. A couple number 10s going at it there. Back to Wagner, the left wing. Up to Corey Willer. Morales with some space, lines up a shot. Just over the bar. That was dipping a little bit there, John.
Hopeful, but that's not a bad opportunity to take. Hit it up into that, going into the wind, and that can do some funny stuff with the ball.
Morales, 1 goal, 3 assists last season in 14 games, made a couple of starts for Tony Manata. Diana Potterveld yet to really get going. ISU's done a good job of keeping the Summit League's reigning Offensive Player of the Year under wraps. Good ball out wide, though, by Hatcher now to Adams. Ashley Adams into the box. Not a convincing touch there that time by Courtney Cammey. ISU, though, able to clean up.
Patterson with a good step.
Danny Patterson up from center back off to Delaney Ratcliffe. Willer tracking back, defending.
The first half, you didn't see a lot of balls played into the feet of Potterveld, and they make a living off of that. It's bringing it her back to goal, getting it to her feet, making runs off of that. That's how you get 12 assists in a season.
That's right, yeah.
See if they change that up, try to get it into her feet more.
Potterveld, the leader on this team, both on and off the field. A player that's really been a star turn for SDSU since she got here from Fort Collins 4 seasons ago. Summit League Freshman of the Year in her inaugural season back in 2012. Bit of an injury-plagued sophomore season, but came back strong last year. Like as John said, 6 goals, 12 assists, tying a league record. Led the league in that category as well as points. Here's Ashley Adams now on that right flank, turning inside on the left foot for Potterveld, who brings it down well. Brazel. And a foul here just on the edge of the box. Haley Albert coming in strong. Bree Johnson was also there. And now a dangerous area here for South Dakota State early on in this second half.
Good ball delivered by Adams. Potterveld brings it down nicely, leads to a dangerous chance here in front of goal.
49th minute here for South Dakota State, trailing 1-0. Nicole Hatcher standing over this, as is Delaney Ratcliffe with her left foot, and Madison Ewell. Looks like a 3 or, well, we'll see here when things finally gets it up. But we'll go with a five-person wall here in front of Lindsay Hendon. Ball about 25 yards out. Ratcliffe. Now it'll be Hatcher. Through the wall, just wide of the post. And now a touch, we're going to say a deflection. It'll be a South Dakota State corner. A good effort, though, that time from the sophomore.
Yeah, just wide. That was a nice hesitation there. Ratcliffe hit it well and just slides wide of the post. And here now we have our, not quite the second corner, but it's the second set piece. And we'll see if that leads to anything.
It's going to be Ewell to take the right footer on the far side. Again, wind blowing from left to right here at Fishback Soccer Park. Ball be swinging in. Nice ball in. Hatcher there. Cleared away, though, by Alberts. Second ball to Poole. That one's going to go wide of goal.
Hatcher made a nice run in the box there. Good effort at that. Couldn't quite get enough jump to get to it.
Yeah.
Decent header that time by the 6'1" Haley Albert coming in to clear that away. Looks like a substitution is going to be held off on here as Hendon will take this goal kick. Good pressure from South Dakota State early on in this half, trailing 1-0. If we go back to a season ago, well, here we go. A turnover now as Morales picks it up in the midfield. Maribel Morales tries a long shot.
Man, Willer was making a good run. I thought she should have played it to her. Was running that channel nicely, and Morales just wanted to kind of take a shot at it.
More of a hopeful ball. That time maybe a better option, as you said. Trying to play it into the third leading scorer in the Big 12 last season. Chance goes away, though. South Dakota State now in possession to the feet of Potterveld. Great job holding that ball up with Courtney Cammy right there. Tori Poole, the sophomore from South St. Paul, swinging it wide to Ashley Adams. That ball a little loose, scooped up by Emily Stile, the freshman.
Adams missed Ewell making a great run across the middle of the field. It was easy, kind of easy to play that one wide if she could have just seen it. There's lots of space in the midfield.
Sub early on here for Tony Minata in Iowa State as Stella Maris Stroman comes on, a sophomore hometown kid from Ames, making her first appearance in this match, replacing Taylor Wagner. Again, in the second half, Wagner can come back on. You get the ability to come off and come back. Nice move by Willer. Good cross in the box. Stroman right back into the middle. This one's just wide of goal. Good press again that time to Iowa State, an early opportunity.
Ewell looks down.
You know, on the turnover that Morales scooped up, Ewell went down right away in the middle of midfield. Looks like maybe the sub they were planning on making, what we'll see here now is Kelsey Whip, 5'7" freshman from Sioux Falls Roosevelt, getting set to enter, and we can assume it's going to be for Madison Ewell.
The way she's stretching that out, it looks like it's probably just a cramp and maybe be able to come back. But Poole and Ewell have been good mids for South Dakota State.
Ewell more often than not taking down the holding role, as Tori Poole has the option to roam between holding mid and attacking mid. Brazel more of the attacker in that front.
Adams with a crunching tackle on Morales.
She's played really strong here in this contest.
Yes, she has.
The lone junior in that back four, the right back Ashley Adams.
You gotta make a decision and go with it.
Brazel, the leading scorer, by the way, on this SDSU team, playing it up to Brittany Jensen on the left wing. Cleared away by Sasha Stinson. Again, last year in Ames, toward the tail end of the non-conference season for both of these teams, Iowa State led 1-0 on a goal by Corey Willer. Diana Potterveld, though, equalized. And then right before the half, a blast from 22 yards out by Tori Poole ended up being the difference maker as South Dakota State won 2-1, the third straight game in this series. Settled by that margin. Iowa State had won the previous two. Willer now with some space here on the counterattack. Adams hustling back, nice touch, but knocked away by Patterson. Style controlling here to Johnson. Out wide to Maddie Ott, rampaging forward from center back. Left-footed cross looking for Morales, picked up there by Inskeep. Dangerous ball though with Morales going back post.
Yes. Better possession there by the Cyclones. You see the Jackrabbits definitely making an attempt to get the ball at Pottervelt's feet. They've done that now about 4 times when they've had possession. And see that run by
Now you see Brazel, yep, a little heavy touch there, or else she had a decent option with Jensen running on the left and Hatcher on the right. SDSU back in possession now. Adams to Nicole Hatcher. Good intercept there by Stroman. Tangle in the midfield. Whip. Able to win it back momentarily here for the Jacks. Stroman right there, though. She's been bright since coming on. Maribel Morales now.
Good skills by Morales.
Back to Albert, the goal scorer. Bree Johnson. Quickly up to Morales off the head. Tony Manata wanting a foul there as Morales was taken down by McNary. No call, though.
Not a whole lot there. She kind of went down easy.
Albert. Style on this left side. Hatcher back to make the block. Stroman. A lot of space in the middle of the park. Corey Willer taken down by Adams. That's a clear foul.
Yes.
And now a really dangerous position here with a free kick coming up for Iowa State.
A little bit more space for the Cyclones. They're finding right on that kind of the top of the corner. I guess not right on the corner, but they're finding some space right in where this kick is taken. And South Dakota State's going to have to shore that up.
When you lose your holding mid in the junior and Madison Ewell, who just came out a moment ago, since then, a little more space opening up in front. Maribel Morales standing over this.
I'm going to bet she's taking a crack. How about you?
In the 56th minute, 5 men on the wall here for Iowa State. This ball's floated in. Comes to nothing. They're a really dangerous position. But
yeah, I thought for sure on a right foot she's going to try to curl that into that far post.
It's just begging for it, John,
yeah,
isn't it?
But not very well taken by her. You'd expect better with her technical ability.
Maybe a little surprised that Willer didn't make a case to come over and take that. But here's Iowa State again. This ball by Style not cleared. Right to the feet of Willer. Good slide tackle by McNary. Corey Willer harried there. Good defending by Danny Patterson. Trying to spring Jensen on this left wing.
Ooh.
Jensen clattering in. And now a foul here going against the freshman. Courtney Cammey was there. A little contact. Iowa State free kick.
You know, that was a hard collision. It's 2 people going at the ball, you know, hitting each other shoulder to shoulder, knocking them down. Looks kind of bad, but, you know, it's fair play.
Fair play, yeah.
Cammie maybe just got there a hair first, and that resulted in the whistle. South Dakota State, though, back in possession with Nicole Hatcher. Hatcher, again, the goal scorer last year in the Summer League Championship game, a game in which SDSU was down 1-0 and fought back with 31 seconds to go. A brilliant ball by Delaney Ratcliffe that Hatcher was able to get on the end of, sending the game into penalty kicks, which SDSU won 5-4. Tori Poole with the decisive game winner. Nice ball in here to Poole. Cleared away by Style.
Well done.
Another dangerous ball in. That's, yeah, again, good defending right at the end. Throw coming here for the Jackrabbits on the far side.
Well, with Ratcliffe, she's able to throw this one deep into the box, so this will be...
Plays to the feet of Poole. Tori Poole, the sophomore. Good challenge that time to the feet of Willer now. Willer trying to spring Albert there on the right side, but it'll go out to touch. Another throw here for Ratcliffe. A lot of numbers in red behind the ball here for Iowa State. Happy to defend against the South Dakota State pressure early on in this half. 58th minute right now in this contest. Still 1-0. Thanks for watching here on Midco Sports Network. The season opener, Iowa State versus South Dakota State from Fishback Soccer Park. Alongside John Hyatt, Alex Heinert with you.
Adams, good challenge.
Yeah, coming all the way over from right back to slow down Willer on this counterattack. The ball to Morales, not on. Inskeep now back in possession. The junior goalkeeper from Ankeny, Iowa, firing deep.
I'm guessing that Raper will be coming in as a sub here in a couple of minutes.
We played about 15 minutes here in this second half. That's about the time you usually see coaches going to the bench to mix things up a little bit. Again, the opportunity to bring a player on, or bring a player off and then bring her back on later on in the match. Giving you a little more punch toward the end of this second 45. That ball by Johnson only to Hatcher. Good tracking back by Style. Hatcher, though, nearly to Brazel in the middle. Good defense, though, that time.
If not for the long
Big longer, yeah.
That probably was there.
Yeah, Lindsey Frank coming back to intercept. Little contact that time on Morales. No call, though, against Patterson. That header by Jensen, far too heavy as it'll run into the feet of Hendon, who's going to pick this up. Final half hour coming up here, John, so far. What have you seen in the first 15 of the second half?
Well, it's good play by both sides. I think you've seen some, Cyclones definitely started better than they did in the first half, and they've been a little bit of the better side here.
Haley Albert, the senior from Eureka, Missouri, 6'1", an imposing figure up there at central attacking mid, fires one in. Patterson there on the clear. Sasha Stinson, though, making her way up. Shot, though, right towards the waiting arms of Inskeep. A couple of subs getting ready for South Dakota State. Looks like Jenny Sislow and Shelby Raper are going to make an appearance here to bolster the attack towards the tail end of this half.
I wonder if Sislow is going to go to the middle and play for Whiff. I saw her come up a little bit ginger.
Long ball and a collision in the box. We're going to stop the clock here momentarily. Again, something a little different from the international game. The clock can stop on injuries.
Well, Inskeep did well to come off her line and get to that ball first before Willer could get a touch on it. Paid a price, but she looks like she's up and ready to go.
Yeah, collision that time against the junior goalkeeper. Good hustle by Willer that time. Just trying to make a play on the ball. Nothing malicious about that. Trainers are going to come on and just have a quick word with Nicole Inskeep. I think if you're a coach right now, you don't mind this. You have a chance to just rest everybody for a moment, get a breath, get some water, reset some things a little bit if you need to.
Yeah, I think Wiedemeyer taking this says to Inskeep, say, hey, just take your time, no problem. And also gives them the chance to get their subs in and they can kind of get that formation lined up the way they want it.
We're in the 61st minute right now from Brookings. 1-0 our score, Iowa State. A goal about in the 28th minute of the first half. Haley Albert scoring on a second ball in on the second corner kick taken. A nice ball in from a true freshman, Taylor Wagner. The senior was able to jump on and fire over the outstretched arms of Inskeep. The difference so far in this one. Both teams with some decent chances here in the second half. Nobody able yet to take advantage over these first 15 minutes or so.
Well, the Jackrabbits started doing what we thought they would do to begin with, was try to get the ball at Potterveld's feet, and you can tell they made a concerted effort to do that, and they started to get some runs off of it and create something, but we'll see. Raper coming in as a sub, probably playing in a wide position. They're looking at her with her pace to attack 1v1 on the outside.
Yeah, always interesting to see what you do when you had a chance to see an opponent for 60 minutes and you kind of have a chance to see what your kids do against them. See tactically what that means for Lang Wiedemeyer and for Tony Minata here in the final 30 minutes of this game. This, of course, the first match for both of these teams. It starts a tough non-conference schedule for South Dakota State and for Iowa State as well. SDSU getting set to take on a couple of teams from the Big 12 here. Obviously, Iowa State leading off the season. They play number 23 Kansas in a couple of weeks down in Lawrence. They also take on Iowa. Good mid-major programs like Wisconsin, Green Bay, Marquette, Creighton in that mix as well. They always play a tough non-conference schedule, and that just gets them ready for what has become a very tough conference in the Summit League.
Yeah, talking to Coach Lang Wiedemeyer, he said, hey, we get to host the Summit League tournament this year. But, that puts a little pressure on you. You got to make sure that you make that tournament. When we were here 3 years ago, they were hosting but not playing. And that can be a little bit demoralizing to feel that way.
Yeah, heartbreaking back in 2012. The Jacks had won the 2011 regular season tournament. They Did not finish in the top 4. Again, only the top 4 teams in the conference make the conference tournament for a shot to play in the NCAA College Cup, the national tournament. Finished 5th that season, just outside the top 4. Again, by winning the regular season crown last year at 5-2-1 in conference, they earned the right to host this Summit League tournament for the 4th time. They've never won it, though, on home soil, despite 2 previous trips to the NCAA tournament. And just like you said, John, we're seeing Whip and Potterveld come off as Jenny Sislo and Shelby Raper now check back in, both featured in the first half. Raper's going to move, like you just like you said, the top of that 4-3-3. Sislo's going to come in and play her more traditional role in central midfield to partner alongside Tori Poole. We've not seen Maddie Ewell, by the way, come back on since that injury early on here in the second half. Sislo taking her spot now in that holding mid role, replacing Kelsey Whip.
Well, I don't think that's the end of the day for Diana Potterville by any stretch.
You would assume not. I would say we're going to see number 7 probably before this one's done. Chance to give her a little bit of a break and then come back strong probably for the final 20, 15 minutes or so if they need a goal here towards the ends. Offsides here, the call is Willard just a little bit beyond that last line of defense for South Dakota State. For Iowa State, by the way, again, the second game, or the first game of 2 in South Dakota. They'll play USD this weekend down in Vermilion. Not exactly an easy road either for the Cyclones non-conference. A little West Coast trip coming up after this to Long Beach State and Pepperdine out in California. They'll play Colorado, Iowa, North Dakota State, a couple Summit League schools in that mix before starting a very tough conference slate.
I thought Stroman, with Inskeep off her line like that, I thought Stroman was going to go a little Carly Lloyd there. Maybe she just didn't have the confidence to do that, but it was sure that opportunity was there for her.
The wind blowing in the face of ISU. I'm not sure if that would have made any difference with a little extra headwind coming on for something from that deep, but you got to think if you look up and you see that goalkeeper that far away from that, it crosses your minds.
Yep. Well, you have 2 things. You have the wind in your face and you have the long grass. So if it
might get over her head, but it might not make it all the way.
Yeah, that's right.
ISU making things a little more complicated in the back there, but able to get it up to Stroman now. Looking for Albert.
Good ball.
Nice ball to the outside. That's Maddie Ott down this left wing. Not a great cross, though, with the left foot again. That's a center back coming all the way up. Showing maybe a little bit there. Not her natural position as a winger. You can see space opening up, though, here as these teams start to tire a bit in the second half. Nice turn by Hatcher to create some space against Style. Now Adams looking long. Otto there to intercept. Raper trying to press. Good win by Poole that time. It'll be a throw for the Cyclones. '64th minute here from Fishback Soccer Park.
Morales frustrated, but man, she demonstrates some excellent close control with the ball.
Hopeful ball that time by Sislo, dealt with by Courtney Cammy. To the feet now. Back to Sislo here from Raper.
South Dakota State needs to pick up the pace.
Yeah.
If this was Jurgen Klinsmann with the U.S. men's national team, he'd be like, tempo, 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 and I think that's what South Dakota State needs here.
Good ball here by Hatcher, looking for Raper. Good defending again by Cammy. No outlet that time as Stroman will pick up the ball and elude Hatcher. Loose pass, though, picked up by Poole, but a great tackle by Alberts. Again, it's 6-1, easy to win those in the middle of midfield. That's going to come off Albert for a South Dakota State throw. You can see now Iowa State really 2 banks of 4 that SCSU trying to break down here in their attacking third.
Yeah, you're up a goal. It's the first game of the season. Try to play for that and just ride the game out.
Lauren Kresick now back on, replacing Alyssa Brazel, who did not get a break in that first half, played the first 45. Another crunching tackle there by Albert, winning the ball. Welcome to the game to Kresick. Morales dispossessed that time by McNary and Aberdeen Roncalli product. Adams, a long ball on now for Raper.
I'm not sure if
That's
she
gonna
thought
just
she
go
was
out.
off or she kind of just held up there.
It was going to be a race there for her between where the ball was played to where the end line was, and with Maddie Ott charging. Chose to shut it down a little early. We've seen a couple times, though, passes that you think are going to get there have not, whether to the feet or to the end line at times here this afternoon. Sislo in the air. Kresick now. Morales losing the headbands, but playing on. Good slide tackle by Hatcher, just getting there in front of Albert. Now McNeary trying to press forward. ISU again, tough to break down right now. Disciplined here defensively for the Cyclones. Ratcliffe no on the switch of play. Sislo. Jenny Sislo with the crossfield ball to Hatcher. Onside on this right side. Hatcher into the box with bodies there. Dealt with that time by Cammie.
Adams was making that run and she held up, and that ball would have fallen right into her feet.
Adams quickly on the intercept, right back into the box for Raper. That ball up in the air by Stinson. Good challenge by Kresick. It's going to fall to Stinson, or about to Style, excuse me. We'll just hit this long, and now Willer nearly able to get there. Patterson, though, able to get there first.
That's excellent positioning from Patterson to get there.
Counter was on that time with Willer and Morales, 2-on-2. Raper trying to turn. Shelby Raper the long shot, and this one's going to go just over the bar.
Better pressure from the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, you can see that sense
coming on.
And this is, again, a good sign. One of the captains for this SDSU team. Replacing Hatcher, who's been bright here of late. We'll see if Potterville stays on the right side where Hatcher was. Looks like that's where she's going to start, as Raper will stay in the middle.
My guess is that switch will happen and Raper will go wide.
Potterville winning the header. Now a foul here going against South Dakota State. Still 1-0 Iowa State. Hanging on here in the second half. Again, goal coming in the 28th minute, courtesy of Haley Albert off a corner kick. The difference so far in this one. Good contested second half. Both of these teams going back and forth as a couple of subs getting ready to come on for Tony Minata.
A line change for the Cyclones. 4 lining up to go in.
22 minutes to go in this one. Neither of these teams won an exhibition match, a combined 0-3. Granted, against very quality opposition for both clubs. Be nice to start off the year with a victory. McNary now quickly up. Nice ball to Sislo, who lets that run. Jenny Sislo with Ratcliffe, or Jensen, excuse me, down that left wing. Ott stepping up to clear, only as far as Raper, though. Back to Sislo. Long cross, nobody really in the box, though, and that's dealt with by Style. Only as far as Tori Poole. The attacking mid for South Dakota State, now back to Adams. Albert closing down and winning the ball that time. Oh, Poole now on the right side. Knocked out for an SDSU throw.
Yeah, those tackles starting to take their toll on the Jackrabbits.
I think you feel it when Haley Albert comes in.
Yeah.
Adams on the right foot, playing it in. Right to Hendon, though. The cross a little too close to the keeper. Hendon will deal with those all day.
Yeah, Adams made some really nice crosses in the first half, and obviously switching, the wind's going a little bit different. That one gets a little away from her.
Lang Wiedemeyer calling for his team to come up, press the ball a little more. Diana Potterville trying to turn.
Well done.
Able to do so, holding off 2 defenders. The senior from Fort Collins. Back to Jenny Sislo. Nice ball in. Lauren Kresick on the right side will run this down. Bring it back across, but only as far as Hendon. Just a little too much on that ball in.
But better pressure, better ball, better going forward for the Jackrabbits.
71st minute here, 19 minutes and change to go. South Dakota State pressing for the equalizer. Iowa State defending well, though.
Wiedemeyer pleading to keep the ball in their own end. Win the ball in the mid.
Just like that there by Poole. Sislo. Delaney Ratcliffe, the left back coming forward. She's got a great left foot. She's going to play wide to Jensen. Jensen onside. Nice tackle there by Shasha Stinson. It's going to go out, though, for a Jackrabbit corner.
Yeah, if you're Lang Wiedemeyer, this is something you want to see. You get that set piece opportunity. Get a ball into the box and hopefully get one on frame here.
SDSU not the tallest team, but opportunistic with chances like this.
And the Cyclones not letting that short corner be played in.
You see Morales up there close. Ball swung in, dealt with by the 6'1" Haley Albert. Quickly back out to Raper.
Nice to have that height.
It doesn't hurt in situations like that.
Still got to be in the right position. But
Yeah, absolutely. Dealt with well. Adams eluding Ott, who's well up there, and now a foul coming. Maddie Ott stepping forward. 18:24 here left. Danny Patterson coming up. Ashley Adams a little slow to get up. It was a strong challenge. The right back now on her feet, though. 7 players in the box here, or 6 players, excuse me, in the box for South Dakota State. Here's the service by Patterson. Headers on by Poole. It's going to go just wide. Not a bad attempt from 18 yards out. It's tough to get that much power to really test the keeper.
Good ball in by Patterson, and had a free look at it. Just couldn't quite get it on frame.
A switch up top here as Willer and Morales are going to come off. Albert also and Frank making their way out.
Well, we'll see. Albert has been making her presence felt in the midfield, and her coming off, we'll see if that gives the Jackrabbits some opportunity to get some more time and space on the ball.
Clacy Medelberg and Natalie Schmidt now back on. They saw action in the first half up top. Also on Lauren Rowling. Came on and impressed late in the first half as a sub in that midfield.
Now this game is definitely switching. Cyclones very much defensive. Jackrabbits very much pushing forward. We'll see if they can continue to crack this back. As you said earlier.
Potterveld, a couple nice moves in space to get to the end line. She'll play it back to Adams. Good charge that time by Schmidt to get there first. Adams winning it back, though. Only as far as style. Katie McNary now, the senior center back. Playing it back to her defensive partner, Patterson. Long ball here by Danny Patterson. Getting past Stinson. Brittany Jensen on the left wing. More of a hopeful ball than anything will end up at the feet of Kresick.
Oh.
Maybe torn between a cross and a shot that time with Potterveld on the far post.
Yeah, Kresick brought that ball down well. I thought maybe had the chance to get it out wide to Potterveld.
Riley Bean now on for Iowa State. She's going to take the place of Scylla Maris Stroman. We expect Bean to stick around here on the left side of this second block of 4 in the midfield. Bean's first action in this contest. 5'8" freshman from Davenport, Iowa. 16 minutes left here, 1-0. Iowa State still in front.
Adams.
Another good step.
One. Should continue the run, though.
I think at this point in the contest, in the 75th minute. Yeah, even though the legs are starting to go and the lungs are going to burn a little bit, especially in the opening match. Ratcliffe to the feet of Sislo. Kresick now. Nice ball. Brittany Jensen. Jensen, the shot just over the bar. Little more room that time, and that's what South Dakota State likes to do. Players running off a central forward as Nicole Hatcher gets set to re-enter the fray here.
Yep, that was a good run by Jensen. Just got a little bit underneath it and knocked it over.
It was a tough angle there for the freshman from that left side. Shot always rising.
Well, we'll see. Manata, he prides himself on being able to play that possession football. We'll see if they can do that just to keep it away from the Jackrabbits and close out this match.
Good hustle there by Medelberg, but cannot keep it in. Under 15 to go here. SDSU searching. Iowa State doing their best to keep them at bay. Another sub here for the Cyclones. Mia McAleer now coming on for the first time. Redshirt junior from Ralston, Nebraska. McAleer, a kid who started a lot last season, 17 games played in, 7 starts for the Cyclone team, was a candidate for that left back spot, but a little bit nicked up in preseason with an ankle injury that kept her out of the starting 11 today.
Hatcher's moved into that top position.
Metalberg here running at defenders. Good defending, though, that time as a foul is going to be picked up by the forward for ISU. You know, you talk about defending. Tony Minata mentioned that he's been spent a little bit of time in Italy a couple of seasons ago as part of the United States international soccer program, and got to learn from coaches from AC Milan and Inter Milan and Lazio and the international, or the Italy national team, the men's national team, the Azzurri, and he talked about those principles of, like, you want to defend like Italy, you want to play that hard-nosed defensive style, but you want to attack like Spain, which is what they're doing. And now is a chance. We've seen some of that attack in that first half, but
Well, if you can create that combination, you're going to be a pretty good side.
you should be okay.
Yeah. Well, Italians, they know how to defend, that is for sure. So we'll see if he's been able to teach those principles to his team and be able to close it out here in this last 13 minutes.
Good press that time from Metalberg, nearly winning a corner for ISU. It's going to be a goal kick, though, for Inskeep, as we're going to see Alyssa Brazel back on. Replacing Jenny Sisla, who, again, effective coming off the bench. We said that a lot last season. Good start for her in this contest, coming on as a sub in both halves to maintain some of that composure in the midfield.
Had to come in the mid, for Ewell, who went out.
Long ball here by Ratcliffe, looking for Hatcher. Ball played just a little bit too long. It'll be a goal kick here for Hendon. Nice job by Courtney Cammy coming over just to make sure that the South Dakota State sophomore could not get a hold of that one. 12:27 left here now in this contest. We're in regulation, I should say. 1-0 our score.
Jackrabbits came back a lot last season. We'll see if they have the energy here in this first match of the season to be able to get that pressure going. They've had a couple of chances, but not a lot of sustained pressure.
Yeah, nothing you would say would be a golden chance, nothing gilt-edged yet for the Jackrabbits. ISU doing a great job defensively to prevent that. Nice turn by Lauren Kresick in the midfield. Now she'll play back to Ratcliffe. Raper unable to handle that pass from Ratcliffe. Ball's booted deep by Stinson. SDSU trying to build from the back, but now a long ball that's going to be intercepted by McAleer. McAleer into space. Nobody there, though. Inskeep will come out as good hustle, exposing the SDSU back line a little bit.
And Inskeep is
She's taking her time here getting back. South Dakota State, though, in possession. A chance, though, now. Placey Metalberg on the right foot, turning, shot just above the bar. Now a quick stoppage of play here is we have a red card now on the field. Well, how about this? Brianna Johnson, the junior holding midfielder here for Iowa State, shown a straight red in the 79th minute.
I'm not even sure what happened. That's kind of a harsh call for letting a lot go on in the match. And then to show a straight red, that's pretty tough. Well, this makes it interesting.
It was a pretty decisive call. There wasn't a lot of hesitation on the referee that time. Just blew it dead, turned, and brandished. And ISU now will finish here the final 11 minutes down a man. And you got to expect if they were pinned back before, I can imagine that's only going to increase here.
Yeah.
Nice ball over the top, and now the flag goes up. Nearly, though, that time, as Adelie Schmidt curling in behind, looking for some space. Again, SDSU playing a pretty high line right now. A lot of room between what's almost become a back two for the Jackrabbits and Nicole Inskeep's goal. Sasha Stinson, the right back, hustling there to knock that out of play. A deep throw coming here for the Jacks.
And as you'd expect with only 10 on their side, Albert is set to sub in, as is Willer.
Yeah, now's the time here. Good push up here, though, is Taylor Wagner trying to create something despite the disadvantage in numbers. Brazel, though, now back in possession. Poole, Hatcher on the turn.
Good string of passes for the Jackrabbits.
McNary, a quick shot by Brazel, though, no power behind it. A first touched attempt by the senior midfielder.
Yeah, maybe had a little more time than she thought she did.
Brazel, again, 7 goals last season. She's led SDSU in goals scored the last 2 seasons. The senior from Sioux Falls O'Gorman. Everybody talks about Potterveld putting the ball in the back of the net, but Brazel, a big recipient of a couple of those 12 assists last season from the senior.
Yep. And I just saw Lang Wiedemeyer pushing Patterson forward, so they're going to go with a back 3. And Patterson's going to play a more advanced role in the midfield.
We've seen that at times last season. Danny Patterson, a very skilled player, played a little bit of everything in high school, played forward, midfield, defense, wing, just all over the place. With Katie McNary holding down that center in the back 3, Ratcliffe on the left. And now a race here as Corey Willer's got some daylight. Ratcliffe, a last-ditch tackle back to Inskeep.
Now the counter's on.
Yep, she finds Hatcher there. A great ball from goal. Nice move to get by Albert. Hatcher, though, the pass looking for Kresick a little bit short. Wagner able to pick it up. And now Wags dispossessed there in midfield. Nicole Hatcher. Nice tackle by Rolling. Got the ball. Corey Willer, 1-on-3 here for the Cyclone Junior. Well, they're looking for the corner flag here with 8:33 to go. Meadleburg in the box for double teamed now by that corner. And that's going to be out for a South Dakota State throw. Just over 8 minutes remaining. 1-0, Iowa State still in front. Long ball by Danny Patterson. Right to Maddie Ott. Header out to touch for State.
The way South Dakota State started this match, they attacked the flanks and they had a lot of opportunities. And we'll see if they could maybe bring a little bit of that magic back to try to even up this match.
It was a nice run there. Speaking of magic, Brazel able to weave her way through a couple of ISU defenders. The Cyclones, they were able to win the ball back in the end. And now winning a throw here. Time on the Cyclones side right now with this 1-goal advantage. Been a fun, entertaining match here to start the season, John. A good opening half, and the second half, again, a couple of twists and turns. Again, we've had a goal scored from one of the senior midfielders on this ISU team, Haley Albert, off a corner kick in the 28th minute. A red card coming about 10 minutes ago in the 79th. Bree Johnson.
Hatcher.
Here's Nicole Hatcher exploiting some space. Playing it across to Lauren Kresick. Tori Poole. Potterveld just nudging McAleer off the ball. Diana Potterveld. Good defending that time out. And this is going to be a corner here for South Dakota State.
Goal kick.
Nope, correction, goal kick. We heard the yell, I think, almost from the South Dakota State bench. Brittany Jensen set to come back on. Lang Wiedemeyer shouting out instructions. Again, a guy who came onto this program in the year 2000 before South Dakota State had any type of competitive women's soccer. He's been the only head coach this program has ever known. Trying to get his team to charge one last time here for the final 6:22. Brazel back to Adams. Iowa State again, down a man here, nursing this 1-goal lead. Alyssa Brazel, long ball in, bodies in the box. Header away from Rawling. Hatcher, that shot goes wide. No deflection, it'll be a goal kick coming up for Lindsay Hendon.
Yeah, good opportunity in front there, just couldn't quite hit it as square as she wanted to.
Adelie Schmidt now back on for Iowa State, replacing Clacy Meadleburg.
And Wiedemeyer pleading with his team right now to get forward.
Goal kick from Hendon into the wind. Only gets as far as Albert. A nice flick on, though. Danny Patterson winning the ball. She's almost playing a defensive mid spot now instead of that center back spot. Potterveld.
Good ball.
To Hatcher with some space at the top of the box. Long shot by Kresick, right on frame though, and right at the goalkeeper. Good effort from about 20 yards out.
Good build-up play again. Not a whole lot of pace on that ball, so easy save from Hendon.
Yeah, well struck, but right in the center of goal, right at the keeper. And like you said, not much movement, and not much pace. Albert emphatically booting that deep. Iowa State able to relieve some pressure here. Under 5 minutes to go now. We're in the 86th from Fishback Soccer Park in Brookings. The Cyclones, 4 wins, 3 losses, and a tie in their all-time series against South Dakota State.
Brazel with lots of space on the right if they can.
We're seeing a little more of a flat 4-4-2, well, almost a 4-1, 3-2 sort of formation here for South Dakota State with just Potterveld and Jensen up top. Hatcher kind of cutting in. High ball in the air.
Goes high. That was good effort by her.
Willer eventually comes away with it. Back to Albert now. Lauren rolling. A lot of space here. South Dakota State, you can see all that pressing they've been doing. Wearing him down a bit. Taylor Wagner running that ball down on the left wing. Now crossing centrally. Just over the head of Adelie Schmidt. Now the Jacks a chance to counter here. A lot of white though behind the ball. Katie McNary pushing forward from center. A lot of space. Diana Potterveld looking wide. That ball's going to sit up for Jensen. Here's the cross. Potterveld coming on. Good diving tackle by Rolling. Potterveld stays down. Jensen back in. Wide and a goal kick. Diana Potterveld flashing there at the top of that box after that ball in from Jensen. Good tackle though by ISU. 3:20 left here. A couple more changes. Placey Metalberg back on, replacing Adelie Schmidt.
And the benefit of collegiate play, the clock is stopped while the substitutions are going on. Can't
nice
kill
when
off
that happens.
some time.
Yep. Selamara Stroman also back on for ISU, replacing the freshman Taylor Wagner. Foul here near midfield. A chance for Patterson maybe to lob one in. Lang Wiedemeyer, yep, pushing everybody up. Adams moving in. They're going to play short here to Ratcliffe. A little closer angle. The cross in. Rawling able to clear, only as far as Hatcher. Back to Patterson. Heavy touch that time and a foul here. And a card coming against the South Dakota State center back. Patterson catching Metalberg that time. First yellow, we've had a red. No yellows though, that's our first yellow card of the match. Here in the 88th minute, 2:48 remaining. They'll wind the clock here. 2:45 to go. Metalberg. Adams knocking it out into touch for the Cyclones. If you're Tony Minata, this is where you want the ball to be, on this side of the field.
Absolutely.
Chance to waste a little bit of time. Again, the Jackrabbits comeback kids at different times last season. None more evident in the, again, the ultimate match of the season in the Summit League Championship game, scoring with 31 seconds left against the University of Denver.
Minata not pleased with just that cheap giveaway.
Ball for Jensen to chase, dealt with there by Courtney Cammey. SCSU with 2 minutes to go. We're in the 89th now. Hatcher. McNary. A little too far. Stroman able to chase that down and boot it deep. Anywhere will do right now for Iowa State. 1:48 remaining. Adams back to Inskeep, just trying to hoof this deep. McAleer on the win. Nice job by Patterson, able to fend off Willer. Brazel on the right side. One-on-one with McAleer, cutting back to her left. Good ball in. Lauren Kresick was right there, but a good defensive play by Cammey. Stinson now able to clear. Ratcliffe. 1:15 to go, puts one in. Potterveld's there. Just past her boot. Hendon able to pick it up. Desperation time here for the Jackrabbits.
Hendon will take her time.
Come on, Clace.
1 minute to go here. We're in the 90th at Fishback Soccer Park. Cyclones.
Great effort in the final minute.
Metalberg cut off that time, and a foul coming against Ashley Adams, and a card on the way as well. Second yellow of the match against the South Dakota State back line. Chance here for ISU to run the clock down a little more. Ashley Adams with the caution. Clock stopped here with 48 seconds remaining. Mia McAleer. Again, a ball on the reset that they didn't like. Chance for SDSU to push forward. Brazel. A deep ball trying to find Potterveld. Asking a lot of her, though. Ott able just to boot that away.
Deep throw.
32 seconds. Clock running. We're in the 90th here. Time running down. Brazel. The giveaway to Stroman. 20 seconds left.
McNary will just send it in the box.
She'll go wide to Ratcliffe with 15.
Not much time to do that.
To Patterson. She'll line one up. Patterson from distance on frame. Hendon, though, getting behind it. And that's going to be probably the last kick of this ball game. And there is your final whistle. Well, a furious final push by South Dakota State, but Iowa State, despite being down a man, able to hold on to earn the first victory of this 2015 season, 1-0 over the Jackrabbits. John Hyatt, a good way to kick off the season for both of these teams. Fun action back and forth, and a good win for the Cyclones.
Very competitive match between these two sides. The 1-goal differential holds again for the 9th time, other than the one tie that they had. But you watch this match, South Dakota State came out, they were ready to play and caught the Cyclones a little bit sluggish, and then give up a couple of set pieces. Cyclones get one in the back and able to ride the game out in the last few minutes.
Yeah, the difference coming back in the 28th minute. Haley Alberts, the senior midfielder, able to put one home on the second corner kick in a row on the far side. Iowa State able to hold on from there. A couple of good chances for both teams in the second half. The lone goal, though, the difference here in this one. Yeah, a lot of things to build and grow on for both clubs. A promising season ahead here in 2015 for Iowa State and for SDSU. Well, final score here, 1-0. The Cyclones get the first win of the season against South Dakota State. For John Hyatt, for an entire MidcoSN crew, I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for watching.